Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. It is the player ratings. A little bit late, of course, this live stream. Usually we do these directly after the game, but I've had a pretty manic and quite frankly unbelievable last couple of days. So yeah, I haven't had time to sit down and do this video, so I thought we'd sit down and do it today, and then we'll do the live game review to this game tomorrow as well. But it is the player ratings. Everton 1, Brentford 0 at Goodison Park. We did do the instant match reaction on Saturday directly after the game. Really good result. Unbelievable first half performance. Second half, not so much. Very much was it a game of two halves, but you know, fortunately for Everton, we come away with the 3 points at the end of it. Yeah, as I said, a massive 3 points. 3 points that ultimately takes us out of the relegation zone. 3 points that ultimately is huge in the context of our season, especially after the the defeat to Aston Villa a couple of weeks ago, and obviously the points dropped at Nottingham Forest last weekend. Yeah. As I said, I thought it was a really professional, proper Sean Dyche type of performance by Everton at the weekend. Getting the goal really early, and then obviously being able to hold on. Should have been more, should have been two, if the referees had any clue how to do their job. But even without the disallowed goal, Onana misses a chance that, you know, you're sort of scratching your head that Iwobi had one cleared off the line, which is unlucky. And you know, we had another couple of opportunities that could have easily been formulated into into goals, but they didn't. You know, fortunately for us, Brentford didn't have much in the game. Again, they had a couple of half chances in the second half. I think Dwight McNeil cleared one off the line as well. And yeah, we obviously we come away with all 3 points. So let's get straight into the player ratings then, without further ado, as soon as this video is 4 days late. Jordan Pickford. I don't think Jordan had too much to do. He made one big save of note that I can remember from a header. I'm going to give him a 7 because, as I said, I think his distribution was okay. I think his decision-making was good. And as much as I don't think he was particularly tested, as I said, a couple of moments here and there that obviously tested him. But other than that, he wasn't massively tested. But having said that, he done well. He put a shift in goal. He made the saves he needed to make. His distribution was okay, and yeah, just a standard good Jordan Pickford performance. Really, not an awful lot to steam and shout about. Left back Ben Godfrey. I'm gonna give Ben Godfrey a 7.5. I thought he was good. Thought he was better than what he was against Nottingham Forest, even though I actually thought he had a relatively decent game against Nottingham Forest. I do think he was, much better against Brentford. Just seemed more solid, seemed more comfortable, seemed quicker, seemed fitter as well. Obviously, the game against Nottingham Forest was the first time we'd probably seen him in a long time. So you could tell he was a little bit off the boil in terms of his match fitness and his match sharpness. Whereas this game against Brentford, he looked a lot more on it. He looked a lot better. No silly mistakes, keeping up with the play. A couple of moments of pushing forward as well into attacking areas. Obviously, nothing come of it, but it was nice to see him getting up there and at least, being able to put a body in those areas to try and, to try and make something happen. Centre-backs then, James Tarkowski. I'm going to give James Tarkowski an 8. Really solid performance by Tarky at the weekend. I thought both him and Michael Keane were outstanding. Done a really good job at dealing with Ivan Toney, as I mentioned. Literally, again, managed to minimize Brentford's opportunities and give them pretty much nothing. Cut out the silly mistakes. It looked a lot more solid, looked a lot more comfortable defensively. And yeah, I just thought it was a really oh, bless me. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I knew that was coming. Just thought it was a really solid performance by Tarky. And one that we got used to seeing early on in the season. He had a little bit of a bump in the road, but hopefully, we'll see a return to form for him now. Next to Michael Keane. I'm actually going to give Michael Keane a 7.5. I thought he put in a really solid performance, a really solid shift. Now, look, I'm not getting too ahead of myself with Michael Keane because I'm fully aware that we have seen this on a number of occasions before where Michael Keane puts in a really, really solid performance, and then a couple of weeks later he puts in an absolutely disastrous performance. So let's hope that this isn't the case this time round. He seems a lot more confident, he seems a lot more comfortable. He's obviously being given a lot of trust and a lot of faith by the new manager. And yeah, I thought his performance of the weekend was his best since returning to the team. He looked solid. He probably should have scored. He had a header on goal like he should have done a little bit better with, in my opinion. But other than that, really solid, good, hard-working performance, battled, won everything in the air, put himself about, bullied Ivan Toney as well, which is ultimately what he was there for. And yeah, really, really good performance. Right back then, Seamus Coleman. I'm actually going to give Seamus a 9 for me. Now, without doing an awful lot, he was pretty much faultless, Seamus Coleman, at the weekend. His work rate, his desire, his commitment, his tackling was good, his passing was good, his effort, as I said, his putting his body on the line, recovery pace, all of it was pretty much spot on by Seamus Coleman at the weekend. And as I said, although he didn't do anything particularly unbelievable that stood out, it was just a really professional, lead by example type of performance by Seamus, and I think that deserves to be credited, and I think it deserves to be credited massively. He's done a really, really good job recently having to step in for Nathan Patterson, and I think it was a real sort of captain show on Saturday, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. Into the midfield then, Amadou Onana. I'm going to give Amadou a 6.5. I think he was good in the first half. I think he was active. I think he was getting about the pitch. I think he was winning the ball back. I think he was moving it well. He obviously should have done a lot better with that opportunity, in my opinion. That opportunity should have rustled into the back of the net, and of course it didn't. Second half, obviously, he fell off. And when I was watching the game, I remember thinking, what's going on with him? First half, he was so active. Second half, he looked he just doesn't look anywhere near the level he should be at. Obviously, we come to find out a little bit later on in the evening that he took a bit of a knock to his eye and he was effectively blinded in one eye for that entirety of the second half. So there, of course, was reasons for that. But, that doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and give him a 10 out of 10. He ultimately wasn't very involved in the second half, quieted down a little bit. But I thought the first half he went in a really, really solid shift. Abdoulaye Doucouré next to him. I'm going to give Abdoulaye Doucouré a 7.5. I thought he put in a really solid midfield performance. Some might say that's a high score. Some might say he deserves more than that. But I thought he went in a really, really solid performance. He was everywhere. He won every ball back. He battled for everything. He put himself in the way. He got involved in the sort of scrappy bits of the game when he needed to. It was just a really, really solid, hard-working performance by Abs, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. Garner next to him then, I'm also going to give Garner a 7.5. I thought, again, very, very, very solid performance. Work rate was good, battled well, no silly mistakes, didn't sort of hesitate on the ball, made every decision quickly, moved it forward, nicked the ball off players. A real sort of, a Garner performance that we saw an awful lot in his previous spell at the football club. We haven't saw it enough in his current spell at the football club, but we know that when he's at the top of his game, Garner, he can be a real, a real asset, and I think he showed that. At the weekend. So yeah, really solid performance by Garner. Onto the wider players then. Alex Iwobi. I'm gonna give Alex a 6. I think his work rate was there. I think his battle was there. I think his determination was there. Actually, no, I'll give him a 7 because I think his ball into Doucouré for the goal was a really, really, really good crossfield ball into Doucouré. And then obviously Doucouré moved it on to Dwight McNeil. Work rate was there. Again, wasn't massively involved in the game in regards to creatively or making things happen going forward. Again, probably unlucky to not get a goal, one that was pretty much cleared off the line. I think the goalkeeper made a really good save. But yeah, no big worries with him. We'd obviously like him to be a little bit more, crucial and clinical in front of goal, but no real concerns. And then Dwight McNeil on the other side. Dwight McNeil's getting a 9.5, to be honest. I think Dwight McNeil has been absolutely fantastic since Sean Dyche has come into the football club, and I think, again, not only his goal at the weekend, which was a really, really well taken goal, really, really well hit, got it onto his left foot, let go, and obviously it's a beautiful finish. But just generally overall, his efforts, his determination, his work rate, his battle at the minute, a couple of good crosses he put in the box. He obviously cleared one off the line as well. I just thought he put in a really, really solid performance, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. And as I say, I think he deserves a lot of credit for all of his performances under Sean Dyche, because I don't think he's put a foot wrong. Even in the games where we haven't played particularly well, I don't think he's put a foot wrong. And then Demarai Gray up front, I'm going to give Demarai a 6.5 as well. He come on, he had a job to do. He ran round, he made a bit of a nuisance of himself. I think he's shown that, whilst he's not an unbelievably effective striker, he still is probably our most effective in that position, and I can see him continuing in that position as well. Onto the subs then, Tom Davies. He can have a 6. Come on, ran round a bit, put himself about, made a bit of a nuisance of himself. Vitaly Mikalenko, we can get a 6 as well. I thought he'd come on, worked hard, slotted in. Good to see him back, obviously, after his illness. And then Neil Maupay is getting a 5, because I cannot remember him touching the ball, if I'm being honest with you. And if he did, then please let me know I am wrong. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. As I said, live game review will be up tomorrow. Sorry that things are a little bit, delayed this week. But yeah, we'll be live with that tomorrow, so look out for that one. But big thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and we'll see you later.